Thank you, my love. Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we, darlings? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you are so very welcome indeed. Darlings, I need your help. I've been asking on my shorts. I've been asking on the post. I don't know what to do with my hair for the meet and greet that we're having on the 20th of July, baby. Yes, I am not sure. I was saying to myself, should I do something different? Should I wear a wig? Should I wear like a half drop curly big ponytail? Should I wear a long slinky ponytail? Should I get a weave? Should I leave it natural? Should I do twists? What should I do? Should I color it? I don't know. I don't know, because I want to present myself the way you want me to present myself. Yeah. So I was saying to myself, well, let me ask you guys. It is getting exciting, guys. All of the products for the goodie bags are coming in. We have the hall space. Should I share it? Okay, I'll share it. We have the hall space, plus we have the vendor space. I am just really getting excited. It's going to be so much fun. Guys, come dressed. I want you guys to come dressed because we're taking pictures and everything. It's going to be fabulous. What am I wearing? I am wearing a dress that I bought from Zara a minute and a half ago. Long time ago. I showed you the white one. Yes, I'm an addict. I bought the black. I do that. Do you guys do that? If I love shoes, I might buy two different colors. Yeah, because it's comfortable, it's the right height, it's the right heel, right shoe, everything. I'll buy it twice. This dress is fabulous. It is fabulous for date night, for meetings. It's fabulous for a whole bunch of stuff. I just love it. So I got the second one. Why are we here? We are here because we have an alternate, George, who spoke to CNN. And everybody is up in arms about everything that he's saying. I'm not. I'll tell you this before we have a little listen here and there. He talked about Don Richards, how they felt that Don Richards' testimony felt like a takedown of Diddy. They didn't really know Diddy. He doesn't really care about Diddy. He doesn't really care to meet him. He is just here to tell you how it went down. They had alternates as well as the juror. But the thing was that all of the juries that made the decision did not know that they were going to be chosen until the very last minute. He said it himself. He said all of us were treated the same way. I am very hot. It is hot in London. All of us were treated the same way. We did not know till the last minute. He went on to say that when they looked at the S tapes, at the free coughs, they were very tame. They were very tame. It was a lot of rubbing of baby oil. Was very contradictory to what the prosecution had said in their opening statements. He also went on to say that after seeing Cassie's text messages, again, like I said in the previous video, it looked very much like they went along with it, that it wasn't forced. I have said this before and I'll say it again. The prosecution overcharged Diddy. That was their fall. They did not charge him in domestic violence. They did not charge him in forced sex. They charged him for racketeering, which is organized crime. Bad boy records, their taxes were even up to date. That is one. His taxes, his filing of taxes for his businesses were all up to date. Organized crime is when you portray and you know what, let me explain to you in layman's terms. It's like you having a restaurant. You come, you eat, the food isn't that great, kind of sorta, and behind they are pushing all kinds of drugs through the business. That's organized crime. He wasn't doing that, or it wasn't brought up for his defense to say yay or nay. This was the issue, and I had explained it before. They should not have charged him for racketeering because there wasn't any going on. There was no organized crime. As a matter of fact, this was the most disorganized that I have seen in a minute, because Diddy is a freak and an abuser. He should not go free, and he will not go free because karma will settle all of that further down. We just have to be patient. You want instant gratification. But he was not charged for abusing Cassie As bad as that video was, he wasn't charged for that. They wanted to hang him dry. I get it. But you have to make sure that whatever you're accusing somebody of, that at least it sticks. It did not stick. And so they raided his homes, looking for everything and anything. Because if this was the regular Joe that had beaten his wife, that had abused them, and they were having these freak-offs, it would not even go to trial. The feds wasted their time. And we have to respect the jury. Whether we like it or not, you say that they are paid off, that they were this, that they were that. I saw it. And I really felt bad about Cassie when I saw that video. In the hotel, yes, I did. I saw a different Diddy. All I saw of Diddy back in the day was somebody that was just erratic, running around, you know, and talent. Very talented. He had built many talents up. For sure, he had built up J-Lo. I could not believe that he had done this to Cassie. And like I said, the freak-offs, they were tame. They felt that the people involved in these freak-offs, they looked very much like they went along with it. It's sad to say, but they went with what they were shown. I'll repeat it again. If this person was not Diddy, I believe Cassie would have walked away. I believe Cassie stayed because she thought that she would get a phenomenal career. She didn't get it. And that's really, really, really sad. Because Diddy is a monster that way. Because Diddy capitalized on the fact that he was influential, he had power, and he can make or break careers. And little baby innocent Cassie, that was still very much a teenager, did not know the ways of this world, and found herself to be an S-worker, if anything at all, alongside Diddy. If it was a regular Joe, regular guy, she would not have stayed. You cannot have an assistant like Christina Kuram and not call her in. How can you not call her in? It's like you guys that are here, you know of Christina, my friend. You know of my husband. How can you not call them in to say, you know what, we want to know what Fumi has been doing. You would know Fumi better than anybody else. Maybe not Ula because he's my husband, but you call the friend. How can you not call Christina Kuram? She was there. We saw her. I saw her multiple times. They tried to take down a man for something that he did not do. R. Kelly was guilty of having minors around, and I'll leave it there. They did not bring that up with Diddy. That's the issue.
Joining me now is an alternate juror who was in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. George is joining us right now. This was 7 weeks of your life, hearing all of this testimony. You were an alternate. You did not deliberate, but did you agree with the final verdict?
I understood the final verdict, and I think if I, because I took a copious amount of notes overall. I took 350 pages worth of notes. Because at the end, we weren't told who was an alternate, who was the main juror until literally the last second when they were reading when the judge was reading his entire statement at the end. It was like, the first 12 of you are the jurors, the last 5 are the alternates. So we didn't know, even in the jury room, no one treated everyone, we all were equal because we didn't know who was who.
Would you have acquitted him on RICO?
I think reading all my notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors.
What was it about that charge?
I don't, the thing with because we were asked and the judge had instructed us that we have to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think there was always a little bit of doubt in people's mind. And I think it was a tough case to prove, especially the first one. And there was always a little bit of doubt there, even from the beginning.
Why did you doubt?
I think some of the charges, some of the witnesses, if you look at it one way, but then when you were listening to the defense, you could see their way as well.
Were there any witnesses that made you think, I don't believe this?
There was one that I think, unanimously we kind of all said like, wow. Like it was almost like watching like TV. It was like, like when I think her name was Dawn Richard, the one. When she on cross-examination, I mean, I never saw such a cross-examination. It was very impressive to watch.
What was it about it?
I think just how the defense, got into her and really made her, look very not credible. I mean, I even wrote in my notebook that it was like a takedown.
Really? And that was pretty early on.
That was pretty early on.
From the opening statements, did you have a mindset of who you thought had a better case? No.
I think overall, from the way I look at it, both sides presented really good. Both sides presented themselves well. We were very impressed with the prosecution and the defense, how they, their professionalism, how they carried themselves. I mean, it was really good lawyering, as they say.
Racketeering is notoriously a complex case. Did you feel that the prosecution presented enough evidence to support that there was even an enterprise?
I think they did the best that they could, but I think it was a tough case to prove.
Why?
I mean, when you look at the charges, kidnapping, arson, forced labor, the government had one side, but then the defense, they had some pretty good rebuttals to it. So I mean that I think added some doubt always, and I think in people's mind.
You didn't hear from some of the people the government said were co-conspirators, like employees,
like Christina Karam,
for example, or D-Rock. Yeah. Did that affect your thoughts about the case?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have wanted to hear from them?
We always thought that maybe we would hear from them, but maybe we also understood maybe why they wouldn't be called.
Why?
Because maybe they didn't want to testify, or they wouldn't really be proving the case, or maybe it would be not advantageous to be called. So, but honestly, we were just waiting till the end, until when the judge gave his instructions and how to interpret the law. Because I think everyone really didn't have anything made up. Their mind made up or in any way. It was really, everyone was waiting to see how, the definitions and how everything was going to be interpreted and what they were to be looked at. Exactly.
So important.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the sex trafficking cases, because of course charges. Obviously, Cassie Ventura testified visibly pregnant for days.
Yes.
How did her testimony impact you in your understanding of the case?
It did. I listened, we listened very intently. It was, I think, 5 days or forever of thing. And, it was very riveting. And it was very riveting testimony and very credible testimony.
You believed her?
I mean, I think we did. I think we did. I mean, she wouldn't have done all this just to come up there and, lie about everything. So no. I don't think even the defense didn't come out and say or anything like that.
Did the money that they talked about in terms of a civil settlement she received, did that color her testimony for you at all?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so, no.
Did you look at the defendant, Diddy Combs, differently after her testimony?
No, I didn't really look at him too much. I mean, I always looked at him because my point of view was just literally at him, like some people were on the side, but I was more in the corner. So I was always staring at him, but I don't think he was mostly just very composed and talking with his lawyers and very in control. It seemed like, because I think I'm not really familiar too much with cases and I don't really follow cases in court, so I don't know how defendants usually act. But sometimes what I've heard in from the news is that some defendants, they just sit very stoically. They don't interact with their lawyers. They just let their lawyers talk and go. But he was very, talking with them, writing notes, doing that. So you could tell that he was fighting for himself.
You saw some very graphic images, videos. You heard very sexual and graphic details. What was that like, hearing that? And how did it impact how you viewed the case?
No, they were very graphic, and but I think overall, we were looking at it from like one side, and it was definitely riveting and eye-opening.
What did you see on the videos? You know, the press wasn't able to see it in real time.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were showing some of the. Well, I mean, there was both the freak-offs and hotel nights, as they were called, from both of them. But it was.
What did they show in those videos?
They showed, well, again, the defense and the prosecution showed different clips, so they were very selective. Like the prosecution was showing more, just Cassie just sitting around.
The defense showed that.
Defense showed that, yeah.
Just her sitting around not engaging in sexual activity.
Yes.
For the prosecution, when you had to have your headphones on and otherwise, what were you seeing then?
There was sexual activity, but I mean, it wasn't really.
Was it forced?
No, it didn't. It didn't seem forced. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she?
It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff on there. It wasn't anything too graphic, I would say.
Let me ask you, this jury that deliberated did not find sex trafficking when it came to Cassie Ventura. They also didn't find it when it came to Jane. And I want to ask you about Jane in a moment. But did it surprise you when it came to Cassie Ventura that they did not convict on sex trafficking?
No, I don't. I think it was a difficult thing to prove, and I think there was always some doubt, whether. Because, I think what the judge says, it has to be forced. And I think the defense did show some messages where it didn't seem that it was forced.
Oh, her text messages when she talked about it.
Yeah.
That was really important to you to consider.
I think that was one aspect, yes.
Did that make you feel that it was consensual?
It did seem like it, yeah.
Talk to me about Jane.
Even in the videos and everything seemed very consensual.
Really?
Yeah.
How about with Jane? Obviously, she testified for several days, very emotional at times.
It was, yeah.
What did you think of her credibility? Did you believe her?
I think it was very again, riveting, long testimony, and I did believe her, at least on some parts. Some parts were a little bit didn't add up as much. Seemed a little strange.
What part seemed strange to you?
One part for me that seemed a little strange was the night, I think, when Jane was in, when they had the fight.
Yeah.
It just, the timing seemed a little like you going from like one closet to another closet to it just, something didn't add up there.
How about the impact when you heard that her rent was being paid or her lawyer is being paid by the defendant? Did that surprise you?
That was surprising, yeah, and it was still being paid.
What did you think when you heard that?
Wow, it was surprising.
I want to ask you as well about, obviously I'm talking about Diddy as if I know him. Like we know his name because he's, this very famous person. Did the fact that he was so famous, did that impact you in any way? Did you know him?
No, I did not know him.
Do you know his music at all?
No, I don't. I didn't really listen to his music.
So seeing him was just a stranger.
Pretty much. I know of him, and I know, but I don't really follow his music or the rap industry in general. So that might have been why. I think a lot of the jurors, I think if you look at their backgrounds, I don't think they were. They didn't follow this or that. That's probably why they were chosen. I was never expected to be chosen, to be honest.
Yeah? Well,
I wasn't even looking for this at all.
Who would be,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But let me ask you, the other jurors, when you would talk to them, I know you weren't allowed to deliberate at all in this, but when
Yeah.
you talked to them, were they familiar with who he was? Did his celebrity status seem to impact them at all?
No, I don't think so. No, I think everyone was really waiting for the interpretation of the law. And
Is that because you were confused about the case or because you just wanted to know your marching orders?
I think we wanted to know our marching orders and how we need to look at everything. I think we were really, I think, at least for me, we want to be, and we are asked to be as impartial as possible. So we needed to know, you hear both sides of, one side, the other side, and it's very important to know what we're actually supposed to be, ruling at and how we're supposed to be looking at it from the judge.
There was a juror who was excused close to the end of the trial. What did you know about that and why?
We weren't told, what happened. I mean, I think someone had mentioned that it was, I think he lied about where he was from or something like that. But really, we were kind of kept in like isolation from the whole day. Not really told much, told to not, follow any news or turn off everything. Don't talk to anyone. Don't talk among yourselves about the case, which we followed. We really followed the judge's instructions. At least I did too.
So when that
speak for
person,
myself,
yeah,
most of
well,
the time.
when that person was no longer in the chair after seeing them there for 7 weeks on end, or however many weeks it was in at that point, did you think it was odd? Did you have concerns?
No. I mean, that's why they call 18 people, because then they knew it was a long case, and there's probably going to be someone's going to get sick or someone's going to drop out. So that's why. So,
would you have wanted to hear Diddy testify? Would it have made a difference to you?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
It wouldn't have made a difference because it wouldn't have added to your understanding, or because you'd heard enough?
I think we heard enough. I don't know if it would have helped or hindered. I haven't really thought about that as much.
Yeah.
But I think it was really helpful, again, in the end, at least for what we were looking forward to, what I was looking forward to the most, was just the 61-page judge instructions of how we're supposed to be charged the law.
They did find him guilty of those transportation to engage in prostitution charges. The prosecution was being very sarcastic and laughing at the idea that these men were just being paid for their time. How did you see that statement?
You mean the defense?
Mm-hmm. Well, the prosecution said that, well, yes, you're right. The defense said that they were being paid for the time. The prosecution was mocking that. Who did you believe?
No, I think the evidence to show that there was the transportation of prostitution, I think was overwhelming, and that's why the jury found him guilty on those two counts.
If you had been,
because the prosecution, not only they showed the hotel records, the bank records, the flight information. For that, I think that they proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt.
If for some reason you were to ever talk to Diddy, what would you tell him about how you saw this trial?
To be honest, I really wouldn't want to talk to him or anyone associated with that. I just wanted to kind of tell my side of the story, but I really wouldn't want to, associate with him or any of the people that are with him.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
And it's about the video from the Intercontinental Hotel that you saw a lot.
Yeah, it was.
Was it a? Did you see it?
Sometimes they did it like frame by frame by frame.
What did you think of that? Did you see it enough? Too much? Too little? What? I
mean, it was a very bad video. I think they showed it enough. I mean, they tried to show it both sides, and
did it make a difference to you in the actual charges that you would have had to deliberate over? Because he wasn't charged with.
He wasn't charged with domestic violence. No.
Did that surprise you?
No, because I don't think domestic violence is a federal crime. So.
Did it cloud the way you saw the rest of the charges by seeing that video?
No, I think we looked at just what we were supposed to be, what the judge had said we were supposed to look at, and then based off of the evidence that was presented to us, they ruled in that way.
Do you think he should go to prison?
That's for the judge to decide. I mean, he was found guilty on both counts. So we're the sentencing is not up to us. Mm-hmm. It's not up to me. It's up to the judge, who was we were all impressed with the judge and how he was. So that the jury, I can't speak for the jury because I was an alternate, mm-hmm. but I think we all really much liked the judge on this case. We found him to be very fair, very stern. He was no nonsense, but the way he conducted himself, at least from what we saw, because again, we only saw, the beginning, and they always had, when they had sidebars, they would have the white noise, so mm-hmm. couldn't actually hear what's being discussed, but we were always impressed with the judge.
Hundreds of pages of notes, weeks of trial. Thank you for telling us what you were thinking.
No problem. Thank you.
Do I feel that the jurors got it right? Yes. They got it right. The DA got it wrong. The feds got it wrong. They ran around and they thought that they would hang Diddy dry. They really did. And they overcharged him. And that is why everybody is looking with their mouth open like, what just happened out here in these streets? This is what happened. Do I think that he'll get time served? Yes, I do. Do I think that he might get 2 years? Yes, I do. Do I think he might get probation for being well behaved? Yes, I do. The thing is that what he has been charged of now are minor in comparison to the racketeering. Yes. To the forcing of sex trafficking. Yes. Because what was shown to them did not go along with what Diddy was being accused of. Point blank period. Point blank period. Is Diddy a good guy? Absolutely not. Is Diddy a monster? Yes, he is. Diddy took this girl's career, some of the best parts of her 20s, or if not all. Yes, he did. He's a physical abuser. Do I think that he will have a great life with the elite? There are still people that will not touch him. But at the same time, you've got Kanye West out there who was supporting him. You have Stevie J who was supporting him. And these are the boys and the guys out there who will celebrate him when he comes out. He's going to have concerts. Believe you me, it's going to be full. The concerts are going to be full. You saw how they were throwing Astroglide and baby oil all over each other in celebration. People are going to not care. People are going to forget. People are going to support. And do you know what? Diddy is still going to have these free coughs. I'm the first to say it. He's still going to have these free coughs. He's just going to be much more careful. That's what this is going to be. That's all I've got to say, my darlings. I live and love you. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will see you at the meet and greet. Ooh, so excited. Tickets are below. All of my love.